friends, and welcome back to Nourish with Regina, where we talk about transforming your plate and transforming your life all through food. I'm Regina, a certified nutrition coach, wife, mom of four, and someone who deeply believes that wellness isn't about extremes, it's about alignment. It's about learning how your body works, listening to what it needs, and building healthy habits that actually support you long term. Today's episode is such an important one. It's a follow-up from our last two episodes. We've done the Gut Health 101 and the anti-inflammatory eating, because today we're finally talking about what everybody wants to know. Okay, Regina, how do I actually heal my gut? Not the trendy version, not the unrealistic juice cleanses version, just real, doable, practical things that you can work into your everyday life. So let's start here, because I think this part matters most. Gut healing does not require extremes. It does require consistency and habits built over time. And I want to say that clearly because so many women have been trained to think, if I'm not doing a full elimination diet or a cleanse or cutting everything out, taking 12 supplements, drinking celery juice at 4 a.m., then I'm not doing it right. But the truth is, your gut responds to steady support. Your body responds to calm inputs, and healing is often a lot more simple than the internet or other people think it is. It's not easy necessarily, but it is simple. Because honestly, gut healing isn't just a food plan. It's a rebuild. It's a reset. It's repairing your relationship with food and your physiology. So let's do a science but make it simple moment here. And just a review from the last two episodes that your gut is not just a tube that digests food. Your gut is a command center for your body. Remember, it's tied to your immune system, inflammation, mood, and brain function, hormones, skin health, metabolism and weight regulation, energy production. That's a lot. That's a lot of body functions tied to just our gut. In fact, research shows that about 70% of the immune system lives in your gut. It's in the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, which is part of your digestive tract's immune defense system. So when your gut is inflamed or irritated, your immune system is basically constantly being triggered. And another important piece here is the gut microbiome. The trillions of bacteria living in your digestive tract. And we talked about this in the Gut Health 101. It really is so important that we have good, healthy bacteria there and that we're supporting our gut health, because these microbes help with breaking down fiber and producing compounds like short-chain fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation, producing certain vitamins in our body, protecting us against harmful bacteria, and even, communicating with your brain through the gut-brain axis. There's also this well-established connection between your gut and your brain, where they are in constant communication through the vagus nerve and the immune system. So yes, gut problems can show up as brain fog, mood changes, anxiety. So it's not in your head, it's in your body. And this is why gut healing often improves so many symptoms at once. Now I want to share a little more of my personal story, because I think it helps to hear that you're not alone. And you're not crazy, and you're not failing. For me, the biggest symptom that made me realize something deeper was going on were brain fog. I felt like I couldn't even remember my name half the time. Fatigue, joint pain, and stubborn weight that just wouldn't move. And yes, I do have fibromyalgia, so I know some of the pain overlaps, but what I noticed is that inflammation made everything worse. I didn't get a diagnosis by a doctor visit where someone instantly understood the whole picture. It took time. And it wasn't until I started seeing an integrative medicine doctor that someone really helped connect the dots. And this is why integrative care can be so powerful, because they look at the whole person. Your symptoms, your inflammation, your lifestyle, your nutrition, your hormones, stress, gut health. And when she suggested I remove gluten, I'll be honest, I thought, another thing, I'd already given up sugar several years beforehand. I was already trying to eat healthy, but I decided, okay, I'm going to commit to this. And it wasn't quick, but it did take a solid month or two before I really started noticing changes. And the biggest one was inflammation in my hands and feet started to calm down. That was my proof. That was the moment I realized, oh, wow, this isn't just about food choices. My immune system is reacting. And I also want to mention something important here. I did try gluten-free substitutes, breads, crackers, snacks, and I found that most of them were full of ingredients that I didn't love or that I didn't feel were nourishing for my body. A lot of gums and fillers and starches and things that honestly they just didn't make me feel good. So instead, I started focusing on what I call simple protein, vegetables, whole foods. So not perfection, just clean simplicity. And that's what really moved the needle for me. And I still know if I do eat something that has gluten or eat something that I didn't think had gluten, but I did, I really notice it with pain and swelling in my joints, particularly in my hands and my feet. So let's pause for just a little bit and think, does this sound like you? If you're listening and you're struggling with brain fog, like you can't think clearly or you forget things or you feel mentally slow, we're not going to chalk that up to just getting older. There could be some gut-brain axis stuff going on there. Fatigue, not just tired, but tired, like exhausted in your bones. Joint pain and inflammation, waking up stiff and achy. If you sit too long and you go to stand up, there's pain there. And weight that won't budge, even when you're trying really, really hard. I want you to know that can be, all those things actually, can be signs that your gut needs support. Not only, not the only reason you think it needs support, but one of the very common ones is because when your gut is inflamed, the body tends to run on stress. And that causes inflammation and impacts your hormones. It impacts insulin sensitivity. It impacts your sleep. And all that contributes to weight resistance, fatigue, and fog. So it really is all connected. And this is one of the reasons I love nutrition coaching so much, is because, God does provide us in the food on this earth to really support and nourish and heal our bodies. And it's just incredible to me. So I want to talk to you about the 4 pillars of gut healing. So we're going to get a little deep dive into these and see how they're going to work in our real life in ways that seems practical. So I'm going to use a framework that's been used in functional medicine for years, and it's often referred to as the 4 R's. So we're going to talk about remove, replace, repair, and re-inoculate. It's not meant to feel complicated, and I hope I can simplify it for you into really easy to understand and practical use implementations into your life. So it's meant to give you a map to kind of help you in this healing process. So the first pillar we talked about was remove. We're going to remove irritants. So this can mean removing gluten, excess added sugar, ultra processed foods, alcohol, sometimes dairy, depending on a person. You know, you've probably all heard of elimination diets. Those aren't long term diets, but they're really helpful to find out what kinds of foods we have reactions to. So, and I want to say honestly, this can be the hardest part, not because it's impossible, but because you have to deal with real life, cravings, habits, convenience, social events, all of those things. We are such a food centered society. You know, you think you get together with friends, you're usually doing it over dinner and drinks, or, you know, when you have a party in the workplace, there's usually, you know, where I work, someone's always bringing in cupcakes or donuts or treats or something. So it's, you know, it's hard sometimes to just live everyday life while you're eliminating the things that really are harming your body. You know, for me, social events were the hardest because you don't want to be that person asking a million questions about the food you're ordering or worrying about what's on a table or feeling awkward. So here's what I recommend in real life. Eat before you go. Even a small protein-based snack before you leave can prevent you from arriving starving and eating everything in sight or just ordering whatever sounds super delicious off the menu. Bring something you can eat if it's appropriate. A veggie tray, you know, if you're taking a dish somewhere, a simple salad, deviled eggs, a fruit bowl. You don't have to make it a big announcement. And then use calm confidence while you're there. If someone offers you something you're skipping, say, no, thank you. I'm focusing on healing right now, but it looks amazing. Or just a simple no, thank you. I'm not really hungry would work too. And just move on. You don't owe anyone a TED Talk about your digestion. Pillar 2 is replace. So we're going to replace with things that support our digestion. And this pillar is where a lot of people miss the mark because we focus so much on removing food that we forget the gut also needs help to do its job. So this includes, we have to make sure we're getting enough protein, enough minerals, enough hydration, drink your water, enough chewing. Yes, that really does matter. And an adequate digestive support. So if you're eating healthy, but you still are feeling super bloated after meals, it may not be the food. It may be the digestion process itself. So slow down when you're eating. You know, enjoy the food you're eating. Chew it thoroughly. Even an extra 5 minutes can really improve your digestion. Because your gut works best when your nervous system is calm. I know, especially when my kids were younger, it was like, I felt like dinner time was like racing against the clock to just hurry up and finish it because there was so much to do. And, you know, now, and it does help my kids are older, but I think dinner time can be a really great connecting time for families. I encourage everybody to sit around the dinner table, talk about your day, look for the blessings you had, you know, find out what's going on in each other's lives and really listen. That in and of itself will help you slow down eating, you know, but it also just really creates this calm environment for your digestion. It fills your heart and your soul, and it just makes it, you know, a really special time for the whole family. So we're on to pillar 3, which is repair. So when we repair, what we mean is we're going to really support the gut lining. And this is where gut healing starts feeling really hopeful. Repairing means choosing foods that are soothing and supportive. So examples are bone broth-based soups. That sounds like a tongue twister. Bone broth-based soups. We've talked about how wonderful and important bone broth is and all the wonderful healing properties it has. So really, I'll do a video one of these days on how easy it is to make bone broth. So watch out for that on my YouTube channel. But It really is. I like sipping a cup just at night. It's warm and calming and relaxing, and it also is, supporting my digestion and things, so it's fabulous. Cooked vegetables instead of raw salads all day. I love steamed or roasted vegetables. Gentle fiber like sweet potatoes and squash. Healthy fats like avocado oil and olive oil. Omega-3s, so important, but you get those from like salmon, sardines, walnuts. So this isn't the time to eat the biggest salad of your life every day if your digestion is fragile. Sometimes healing means going a little softer. Warm foods, cooked foods, simple meals. And then pillar 4, re-inoculate. So this is what we're going to do to support healthy gut bacteria. It's about rebuilding the ecosystem in our gut, that microbiome. So it means fiber, diversity in plant foods. Fermented foods, if that's something you tolerate, are fantastic for gut health. And here's the key. We're not going to go from 0 fiber a day to 40 grams of fiber overnight. Bloating will be very bad if you do that. That can happen when you add too much too fast. So some people then will think fiber is bad or these foods don't agree with me, when it's really just the timing and the amount of the food. So we don't want to shock our system all at once. This is going to be a gradual rebuild of our gut health. So you could start with cooked vegetables each day. Maybe then add some berries, and then maybe some seeds, and maybe some fermented foods. And it's a build over time. So it's not like we eliminate everything and then we eat all the healthy stuff and then we wonder why we still feel bad. It's because this didn't happen to our bodies overnight, and we're not going to heal it overnight. And so we have to make conscientious, deliberate choices to heal and not be too critical of ourselves in the process. So what do we eat? Simple, real life, gut healing meals. So we're going to make this even more practical. If you're wondering, okay, what do I actually eat? Here is a simple gut healing approach. Breakfast options. You can do eggs and sauteed spinach and a little bit of olive oil or avocado oil. If you're not a fan of spinach, I love pan-fried okra. I just put, not the breaded kind, but just okra in a frying pan. I spray it with some coconut oil, and I do like garlic powder, onion powder, and nutritional yeast, and saute it up till it's nice and crispy. If you've never had okra before, I suggest you try it, but it does get slimy during the process. You got to cook it until all the sliminess is gone, and then it's delicious. Another option is turkey sausage and cooked vegetables. So I think we're trained that certain foods aren't breakfast foods, and that's totally not true. Vegetables with breakfast is great. You could do a turkey and egg frittata with peppers and broccoli and all that, little bit of cheese in there. Delicious. I'm actually having a BLT frittata for breakfast this week. I made it and it'll be my breakfast all week. I'm so excited about it, but all sorts of yummy vegetables and stuff in there. You can do a smoothie with protein and berries. Maybe you're not a huge breakfast eater right now, so a smoothie would be easier for your body to consume in the morning. So a little protein powder, your milk of choice or non-dairy milk of choice, if that's how you do it, and maybe throw some raspberries or blackberries or strawberries in there. You can even put spinach in your smoothies to get your vegetables in. So just think about those kind of things. Lunch. Lunch doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be a salad. Just roasted chicken and roasted vegetables. I do batch cooking on Sundays, so I put a bunch of chicken breasts in the oven on a cookie sheet, cook some. I have all my chicken for the week, so you can just pull some of that out and chop it up. Do some roasted root vegetables, which are super great for healing your gut. Great idea there. Some tuna salad over some mixed greens would be delicious. Or what we do a lot here is we do leftovers from the dinner from the night before. It's easy. After dinner, I just package them up into the lunch containers for everybody wherever they're going for the day for work, and makes it super simple. So then dinner, salmon is great. You're getting your omega-3s there from the salmon, with sweet potato, which has your fiber and all sorts of other good nutrients in it, and some broccoli, steamed broccoli. You could do ground turkey bowls with zucchini noodles and rice if you like rice. I like my ground turkey bowls with cauliflower rice. I do a couple, a small portion of some black beans in there. It's like almost like a turkey taco bowl. It's great. Soup. We're in soup season right now. I think the wind chill today is like -15 or something ridiculous. So soup is great. The warming, healing feeling you get from soup. And of course, you can add all sorts of all the good things in the soups that you like, whatever vegetables. Vegetable beef soup is great. Chicken chili is wonderful. So lots of options there. And we don't have to overcomplicate it. We can keep it super simple with real whole foods. So if you're stuck and you don't know what to eat, it's kind of like my formula is protein, cooked veggies, healthy fat. That combo works almost every time, and it doesn't have to be fancy. So just make sure you have those 3 things on your plate, and you don't have to follow a big long recipe. Just roast a piece of chicken or cook a turkey burger or whatever you like. Can make it really easy. So now that we have the formula and we know kind of an idea of what we need to be eating, how long does gut healing realistically take? So let's talk timelines, because this part is where people get really discouraged, and I don't want that for you. Gut healing does not happen in a weekend. It's not a 7-day detox. Many people start noticing improvement in phases. So first, maybe you have more energy. Then you notice your digestion's better, or you're not feeling so bloated after you eat, or, you just feel maybe a little thinner or a little lighter. Then you might notice the inflammation and the joint pain is better. And then often weight changes are going to come later. So that's not going to be our focus for doing this, because remember, we're healing. We're not working for a result right away. This is a process, and it takes time. So this was my experience too. It took a month or 2 before I really noticed the inflammation was calming down. So if you're 2 weeks in and you're thinking this isn't working, I want you to keep going, because consistency compounds. So I want to make a quick note here, because I always want to be responsible and clear. I am a certified nutrition coach. I am not a medical doctor. So I don't diagnose, treat, or prescribe. But I can help you build a sustainable nutrition habit that supports healing your body. If you're making big changes or you have medical conditions, always check with your healthcare provider before doing something. I don't want to say extreme, because I don't think changing the way you eat is extreme, but just, if this is a big change for you, maybe talk to your doctor, or if you're on a lot of medications or anything, just to be safe. Now, if you're someone who wants to explore supportive resources, I do have a full script dispensary shop linked in my link tree, where you can browse professional grade products and supplements. I'm not saying you need supplements. Food is the foundation, But if anything we talked about today sparks curiosity, you'll find options there you can explore. And we did talk about some of those supplements in the last episode as well. So next week, we're going to keep building on the foundations we're making with an episode I'm really excited about. And it's called Blood Sugar, Hormones, and Gut Health, Why They're All Connected. Because once your gut starts healing, the next thing we have to talk about is blood sugar and how it impacts cravings, energy crashes, inflammation, stubborn weight, and even the way your hormones function, especially for women in midlife. So if you've ever felt like your body is on a roller coaster, hungry, tired, bloated, craving sweets, or just stuck, you're not going to want to miss this next episode. You can listen to Nourish with Regina on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And if you'd like to connect with me day to day, you can find Nourish with Regina on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, if you want to explore any of my coaching options, you can visit www.nourishwithregina.com. Thank you for being here, friends. Gut healing takes time, but it is possible, and you are not behind. Bye.